Hello everyone. Today, let me introduce you to the ISM program, Business Management and Marketing. Dominika, what makes this program unique?
There are so many things that makes it unique, but let me start with the very beginning, right? The so-called father of management, you must have heard of it, Peter Drucker, he used to say that any business enterprise, it basically has only two functions, innovation and marketing. And these are the two functions that actually create value, and the remaining functions are just costs. So basically in this program, we focus on one of those functions. We focus on marketing. But we want to give students kind of like a broad overview of how the business works so that they are not only focused on one very narrow niche, but they understand the whole business ecosystem, right? So in this program, our students, they learn finance, they learn HR, they get a glimpse into it, right? So it's not the core of the program, but they get a little bit of everything, and they kind of like gain this big perspective of how business works.
Right, thank you. And speaking of students, Migla, what made you choose this program?
Well, I could never fit myself into one area. I could never fit into borders. And in this program, you don't have to. You get an opportunity to learn many different things. You get an opportunity to test yourself. And by that, marketing by itself is an area where you need to learn continuously.
Looks like it checked all the right boxes. And speaking of checking the right boxes, Dominika, for somebody that's considering this program, what is the type of person that, this checks the boxes for, this fits for? How do you know, like, let's say I'm a student, how would I know this program is for me?
I think the most important characteristic that the students who want to study in this program, like the most important characteristic that they should have is definitely curiosity. I believe that marketing is a lot about learning, right? So at the core of marketing, we have the customers. At the core of marketing is understanding your target audience.
Right.
So in order to do that, you need to be curious. You need to be willing to learn every day, to discover new things every day. So that is definitely my top one characteristic that I would indicate.
So Dominika, how are businesses involved in this ISM program?
I think we're really strong in this. So to start with, a lot of our professors are actually coming from business. I mean, they have a lot of academic experience, but they also have plenty of business experience. In fact, many of them have founded their own businesses. Right. So that is one thing. Another thing is that during most of the classes, you will be engaging with businesses directly. And I don't only mean guest speakers that are very often coming to classes, but also in many cases, students have opportunities to solve real business projects during studies, which is amazing because you really get exposed to real situations, to real clients, and you get real feedback from them, which I think is a big plus. Also, in some of the courses, we have professors taking students to different companies where they can learn about the culture, where they can meet the people who are working for it. So that's also, I think, pretty amazing when you're a student, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it sounds good. And just to follow up on that, we're talking about real cases. So Migla, maybe you could elaborate, like what's the difference at learning at ISM, versus when you were at school?
Yeah, so when you are learning in school, you understand learning as sitting in class and remembering all the little detail word by word. And at ISM, we learn a little bit differently. We do learn the theory, but by a more interactive way, by analyzing cases of the brands that we use every day, from Harvard business cases to Lithuanian brands like Chas Chips, for example.
Okay.
And like previously, I just had a Ryanair case. Is it sustainable or not? Like there are many different angles you can look at it, and there's never one answer. And the main difference is how you approach it, how you argument it.
Speaking of being curious, I'm sure Migla checks a lot of these boxes. But when speaking about thinking about being curious, what sort of maybe lecture or a course that you learned left you with the biggest impact or was most impressive for you? Anything that stands out?
It's very difficult to choose because I enjoyed most of my classes. They are memorable. But the most impactful lecture was business ethics and sustainability. I wasn't expecting it, but it was just so interesting because I learned how important is corporate social responsibility for companies. And we analyzed real cases, real dilemmas of nowadays businesses, and it really impacted my critical thinking in solutions.
Okay. So when you finish this program, what are your options? What do students generally do?
I think the opportunities are limitless. So everything depends on the student. Everything depends on the student's willingness to go out there and to go for things that he or she wants in life. We have many students that started something on their own, and that's great in this program that you learn about general business basics together with a focus on marketing.
Right.
So you may start something on your own. You may work for an enterprise, perhaps in the marketing department, perhaps in the sales department. You may also work in an agency, like consulting agency or marketing advertising agency. We have plenty of those examples too. So I think ranging from marketing project managers to the heads of marketing to data analysts, the opportunities are limitless.
There you go. Dominika, is there an opportunity to travel abroad and learn abroad? Tell us more about that.
There is, and I would highly recommend that. In fact, I actually graduated from this program myself many years ago.
Okay.
And of course, the program has evolved. It had a different title, but basically I did study in this program. And when I was a student, I spent 1.5 years abroad. So I went to do my Erasmus in south of France, and then I did a double degree. So those opportunities, of course, exist nowadays as well. Students can go on an exchange, in fact, a couple of exchange programs. And those who want to get a double degree, it's also possible, right? So basically you go to a foreign university and then, you come back, you get 2 diplomas. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that definitely is pretty cool. What's good about studying at ISM?
There are many good things about ISM.
What would
no
you
doubt.
outline? Yeah.
So first of all, it's an international university, and you get an opportunity to grow, to learn here at Vilnius with students and professionals from all over the world.
Right.
The other reason is that the lecturers are really professional. They know a lot about business. They are into business and into leadership. And last but not least, the community. The community is great. It's very supportive and just impacts you to create.
There you go. Well, thank you very much. This was all about business management and marketing, the program at ISM. Thank you.